We've all heard a ton about how important sleep is in athletic performance, in muscle recovery, but did you know that sleep is critical to best vision as well? In this video, we'll look at how poor sleep can affect your sports vision, your visual performance, and your ability on the field or on the pitch. Hi, I'm Dr. Laby. I'm an ophthalmologist with 30 years of experience working with professional, elite, and Olympic level athletes. I'd like to bring in these videos what I've learned in working with them to you, the amateur athlete, to help you perform at your best and play the best you can in your sport. As athletes know, rest and sleep are critical parts to best performance and development and training in your sport. But did you know that proper sleep is also critical to your sport's vision performance? In this video, we'll look at how sleep or lack of sleep can affect every one of the levels in the sports vision pyramid. Each of those levels is critical to your sports performance. Now, if you don't remember the sports vision pyramid or what those levels are, please take a look at the videos below where we detail each of those levels with examples and explanation of why they're important in your sport. Lack of sleep can affect every one of those levels. And let's take a look now at how lack of sleep affects specific levels. Let's start out with the bottom two levels, the vision in each eye and the use of both eyes together, and let's detail 5 different areas of visual performance that are affected by poor sleep. Number 1 is blurry vision. Well, blurry vision is pretty bad. That's the bottom of the pyramid. If you're not able to see properly, you're not going to be able to perform well. And how does sleep affect your vision? Well, sleep, or vision actually, is based on how good and how clear the corneal surface is, the window of the eye. You need sleep to restore that surface, to keep it lubricated, to help those cells recover from being exposed to the environment throughout the day. If you don't sleep enough, those cells and that surface won't be as it should, and you'll have blurry vision. Number 2, twitchy and spasming of the eyes and the eyelid. Well, we've all experienced this here and there once in a while, but as we have lack of sleep, and as we don't sleep well and get rested, that twitching and that feeling of eye movement discomfort happens more and more frequently. You see, the eye muscles around the eye and the eye muscles of the eyelid need to rest. Our muscles aren't designed to work constantly, and if you stay up for way too long hours and don't get enough sleep, you won't let those muscles rest. In fact, there's only one muscle in the body that's designed to work constantly without stopping, and no, it's not the brain muscle. This muscle that I'm thinking about is critical to our performance every day. But I'm not going to tell you what that is. I want you to think about it, and at the end of the video, we'll give you the answer. Now we're at number 3. Number 3 are dry eyes. The eye surface being dry affects vision, as we mentioned previously, but dryness itself is something that's worse throughout the day, the longer you're awake and the less sleep you get. Naturally, our eyes make less tears as the day progresses. So, for example, if you're playing in a very dry environment, in a night game, for example, you may need to put lubricating drops in your eyes even if you do get enough sleep. But if you don't get enough sleep, it'll be even more dry. And if that surface doesn't have a nice layer of liquid on it, just like a window after a windshield wiper goes back and forth, you're not going to be able to see clearly. Think about that window on the windshield. When there's a little bit of mist and rain, you get a little bit of raindrops, you haven't, not enough to start the windshield wipers yet, but you recognize that you're not quite seeing as well as you did before. You let those wipers go back and forth, you have a nice thin, even layer of liquid, just like a nicely lubricated eye, and the vision becomes much, much clearer. We want to have a nice lubricated eye, and lacking sleep gives us dryness and poor lubrication. Number 4 is light sensitivity. If your eye is dry and you haven't had enough sleep, you're going to have light sensitivity and you're going to be much more susceptible to glare. Think about it. If you're again playing a night game, and most sports actually play at night. If you're playing a night game and you have lights on it during the field at night and you're trying to see, you'll have blurry vision, twitchy eyes, glare, light sensitivity. That does not sound like a recipe for success. Getting a good night's sleep will reduce that sensitivity to light and reduce that glare. And number 5 may not impact performance as well, but I think it's something that we want to be concerned about. And that's the idea about swelling of the eyelids and bags under our eyes. We've all seen people who don't sleep well enough and have big bags under their eyes. And that comes because of many factors. Your eyes get dry, you rub your eyes, they get itchy, you're standing upright the whole day, and so fluid congregates in the area below the eyes, around the eyes, making those bags due to gravity. Well, if you sleep, you're on your back, you're on your side, that fluid redistributes and those bags get smaller. So getting a good night's sleep is cosmetically something that's good, not only as we've seen prior functionally. Well, what else can happen if we don't get enough sleep? What we talked about are things at the bottom of the pyramid. What about things higher up in the pyramid? For example, decision making, the idea about hand-eye coordination, eye-foot coordination, reaction times, thinking, all those things are affected by sleep. I think we've all stayed up way too long sometimes, and we found ourselves kind of having a fuzzy head, not being able to think really clearly or fast enough like we were used to thinking, and that's simply due to lack of sleep and fatigue. But it's more than that, because that decision making, that fuzzy head, leads to a slower reaction to what you're seeing. If you have a slower reaction, you're not going to initiate the hand-eye or the eye-foot movement that you need to perform in your sport. Having good sleep will make all those functions faster, not just the decision, but actually the reaction time and the coordination of the limbs will occur much more efficiently and much faster with a good night's sleep. There's been several studies that show this. It's a pretty commonly accepted fact, and I'll show you one of the papers right here, where the reaction times are slower in people that don't sleep enough. The final effect of lack of sleep is in your short-term memory. Short-term memory is affected by being tired, fatigued, and not sleeping enough as well. Short-term memory can be important. You won't forget your name. You'll always know what team you're on. But your ability to learn from what just happened on the pitch, your ability to adjust your game as you play, all of that will be reduced, and therefore your performance will be reduced as well. But now for the important part. What can we do to prevent this? This sounds awful. It sounds like if we don't sleep, we're going to have terrible performance, which is true. Easily, the answer to this question is to get enough sleep. Your coaches and your trainers can tell you how much sleep you need, but usually it's about 8 hours a night of good sleep. In addition, there are a few other things you can do that have to do with your eyes as well. For example, looking at a bright screen in a dark room will create eye fatigue. Probably should turn the brightness down on any kind of phones or tablets that you're using prior to sleep, or if the room is dark around you. That will cause eye fatigue and make all the lack of sleep symptoms much worse. In addition, if you wear contact lenses, make sure you don't overwear the contact lenses. The contact lenses, if you think about it, are really a piece of plastic that covers the cornea of the eye, and that prevents oxygen from getting to the cornea. So not only does the eye get dry when you're sleep deprived, but the lack of oxygen lets those cells suffer even more, not work properly, which is going to reduce your vision and cause all the other symptoms that we related to earlier with fatigue. Now, this year there's been quite a bit of discussion about these blue light blocking glasses. What's the story about those blue light blocking glasses? They really interfere with your sleep pattern through your eyes? Well, let's first think about a couple of things. Blue light naturally occurs from the sun. Whenever it's a sunny day or it's a cloudy day, you go outside, there's blue light wavelengths mixed in with all the other lights, all the other colors of the sunlight, making it just bright white light. At night, as the sun goes down, we don't have the blue light anymore. Our bodies are used to this, and when our eyes no longer detect blue light, a signal is created to our brains, which means we should start winding down and start heading towards bedtime and sleep. When the sun comes up and the sun's out again, that blue light stimulates us and maintains our wakefulness and our sharpness. Well, the problem is that even though the sun goes down, when we use electronic devices like phones and tablets, there's blue light coming off of those screens as well. Well, that blue light enters our eyes, and our brain doesn't know the difference if it's sun-caused blue light or if it's device-caused blue light, and we're triggered to not sleep and to be awake. This can interfere with our sleeping hours, and it can interfere with the quality of our sleep, both of which will lead to the problems that we talked about earlier. Well, so what do we do? Well, a clever marketer has devised these blue light blocking glasses, I'll show you a picture of here, that block the blue light from your screen from getting into your eye. Well, that's one way of doing it. You can certainly block that light through a filter, an optical filter, but I think it makes more sense to adjust your tablet, your computer, or your phone to be in what's called night mode. Night mode is where the computer, when sun goes down, shifts more and more to the red side of colors away from the blue side of colors. I know on my own computer, when the sun goes down, after an hour or so, the whole screen looks more pink, more rosy, more red. The blue has been taken out. All of that so that I'm not affected when I work on my computer into the evening, not late at night, but into the evening. I'm not affected by that blue light, which is going to interfere with my sleep pattern and sleep quality. Physiologically, the blue light story makes a lot of sense, and it's something that I do with the night blocking, with the night mode on my computer. But if you look at the scientific literature, as we show you here, in a recent study, they look to see whether those blue light glasses really make a difference in sleep, in eye visual ability, and in sleep quality, and in performance. And interestingly, they found that it really didn't have any effect. So I personally don't have a pair of those blue light blocking glasses. Instead, as I mentioned, I use the night mode on my devices, and I try to stop looking at devices earlier as I can. All right, well, thanks for watching. I think you can appreciate that lack of sleep, poor quality of sleep, can have significant effects on how your eye works and how you use your eyes, and also on your ability to use your visual information for coordinated motor action with your hands and your feet to perform in your sport following a decision. Lack of sleep affects every one of those stages, every level of our vision pyramid, sports vision pyramid, and we really need to make sure that we don't have that interference if we want to perform at our best. Now earlier we talked about one muscle in the body that is designed to not rest. We know the eye muscles and the muscles around the eye and the skeletal muscles, all of them need to rest. If they rest, they get stronger, they can be trained, and they work better. But there's one muscle that we don't want to rest, ever. Anybody know what muscle that is? Well, that muscle is the heart muscle. If our heart muscle stops, then we're not going to be here anymore. So we definitely don't want the heart muscle to stop or to take a rest. Thanks for watching, and have a heart to subscribe to our channel. Be notified when new videos come out every week that help you maximize your vision to maximize your sports performance. Until then, good luck.